The day when I left the school, the parents came and they thanked me separately, saying, it was wonderful to have you here. I've had a lot of hardships personally and professionally. I love dancing. Yes, because I love dancing. I've believe it or not, I've been dancing till with my children. Whenever I get an opportunity, I do it.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Great Principles. I am Seema Chhoriya. I bring to you another iconic figure from the world of Indian academia. During a recent interaction, I happened to chance upon this question on why and how we change throughout our life. And while reading, I came across this wonderful quote which says, change is the end result of all true learning. Our mind processes so much information and it somehow convinces us to change as required by the situation at hand. That's so relevant to us people and then to students who are learners in academic and their life. Educators, therefore, are the essential change makers who constantly grow and help others to grow. My guest today is a veteran at this change-making process on both personal and professional level. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Chitrakala Ramachandran, Principal, Chennai Public School, TMZ branch. Welcome to Great Principles, ma'am. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Thank you.
So, ma'am, let us all begin by knowing where it all started. Once upon a time, you were so inclined to become an educator, but your experience then as an assistant teacher changed your perception and you found your calling. You have become an educator for almost 3 decades now. So what incidents or interaction led to this life-changing, altering event in your life?
Well, I have to start from the days that I have actually, it's a little nostalgic as well. I just go back in time, way back when in 1984, I completed my graduation. You believe it, like any other student who comes out of college, I felt like I was just left out in the open world. I had nothing to do. I was wondering, from this day, I should start standing on my own and do my own work. I should not depend on my parents for anything. So that was the first trigger that happened in my mind. And immediately, it so happened like we 3 girls who just completed college, we just thought, let's take a chance. We'll go to a school and we'll just tell them that we want to become a teacher and we'll see what happens. So we just prepared those days, those biodatas and profiles were not so big. We just wrote it in our hand and we took it, and then we met the principal or the assistant principal over there, and then we spoke saying that we have just completed our graduation and we wanted to become teachers. Those days, nobody asked us, why do you want to become a teacher or what is that behind it? We just wanted to try because we felt we had nothing to do. And when we went, all of us were asked to give a demo, and they asked us to choose our own topics. And immediately I chose a topic, East India Company, because that I always, even though I was a science graduate, I was inclined to, social science a lot. So then all the 3 of us gave a demo. The demo was for 10 minutes, and they made us wait for about half an hour. They said, we'll give you the results immediately. And out of the 3, I was the only one who was selected. And believe it, and they said, even though I gave a demo for about a 6th standard or something, I was asked to take a class in the pre-primary classes because I was a raw graduate. And I immediately joined my master's in Hindi because I was very much inclined to Hindi. And I did my master's. So I was doing, those days, the colleges we had only from morning 9 to 1. So I opted to work in the afternoon. Then they said, we don't have the KG classes in the afternoon. I said, I have time only at the afternoon times. Then finally, they gave me an opportunity and I was taken in, and I was working as a part-time teacher. It started like that because I had no idea I wanted to become a teacher. It was just a try I did and I got it. And I worked there for a year before I got married. And then I moved to a very remote part of India It's a place near a small town near Tanjore district, which is in the interiors of Tamil Nadu. Believe it, in that particular place when I went, it was a culture shock for me because I studied all my life in Bangalore, going to a very remote village who don't even wear any other clothes other than sari. I was forced to become very traditional. That's number one. Secondly, then when I went there, I did not realize today is Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday when I was there. Then finally, I decided I cannot stay like this. I have to do something. Then there I found only one sister's run school, a convent school. I decided I have to go there. I have to do something, otherwise I'll go mad. Then I went there on my own. I said, I want to become a teacher. I went on the 27th of January, 1987. And the 2nd of Feb 1987, I got an opportunity to start as a teacher there. And I started to teach in the primary classes in the beginning because I was still, I had just completed my first year master's. So I was in the second year in process. So I did it. Then slowly I completed my B.Ed and then I grew and then I started teaching in the 9th and 10th, English and science teacher. So that's how it started. Believe it, I never wanted to become a teacher in the first place. But when I started doing this job, I started loving it, especially the interaction with children. And, you learn more when you're with children. And in those days, even though the exposure for the students outside the school was less on the intellectual part, but still, children were more inclined to school and the teachers those days. They respected the teacher more than anything. And I could sense even the parents in that particular area because they're all agricultural oriented people. They respected the teacher as the guru, how our ancient days were telling. So that was the exposure I got and I loved my job. I stayed in the same school for 16 years. I started as a small teacher, then grew as an assistant headmistress there. Then after that, when my daughter completed her schooling, I came back to Bangalore. And then because I already was doing administrative, I got a principal's post here. Since 2001 till date, I'm principal now. It's like that, yeah.
Wow, what a journey, ma'am, It's like, it's at time destiny make us do what our calling is.
Absolutely.
Keep thinking, that I never thought I'll do this, but it's all destiny. And once a teacher, always a teacher.
Absolutely.
And that's so true for you.
Yes. And also I would like to add something here, the thing I got so engrossed into my work, I always think only about school and think about what I can do for children, what I can do for the teachers, how best I can, some innovations in school. If you ask me to do anything away from school, I'm a zero. Anything within the school, yes, I can do things, yes.
So this shows that you are now passionate about it, and when you are passionate about teaching, then you just want to go out of the way and do anything which is above your capacity also.
Yes.
So what an incredibly wonderful journey, and that is how this teacher is now a school leader and grooming others to take up the similar role. Going ahead in a conversation, ma'am, how do you and your team of educators take measures to implement the 3 A's in your school? That is anytime, anywhere, and anyone.
And that will be really, really applicable. The last 2 years has been more apt for all of us. Yeah. I can also connect this with my previous, tenures in my, whatever I did. I did a bit in Middle East as well. And then I worked in Bangalore and in that smaller village. But wherever we work, believe it or not, in the initial stages, even though it was a small place, that was the experience that actually taught me how I have to mold myself as a teacher. There, I have to actually connect with these 3 A's. The reason is, it was a school with only the school, beautiful building with a beautiful ground and all of that. But technology was very less used on those days. What I used to do is, because the classes are not, having AC or air condition. So I always loved the nature because the school was connected with a small orchard, a coconut orchard, and then field, the paddy field, and then there will be a railway line. So in the afternoons, I will ensure I take my children out. We sit in the orchard and we sit and learn there in groups. Believe it, today what NEP is telling us to do, I'm proud, I can say I did it somewhere into 1980s, between the 80s and 90s, I've started doing it. So I was thinking, not bad, something what I practiced those days. That was out of my own interest I did. But today it's become essential that we take the children out, make them learn through things. And I was so, surprised when I read Kalam's book, The Wings of Fire, where he explained about how his teacher took them out and showed the migration of birds on the seashore. I did it even without knowing that. Even as a raw graduate, I did it. I was so surprised. I thought, I just connected with what my father said at that time. He said, what you work, if you love the way you're working, if you become more passionate about what you're doing, it will definitely, you'll excel in that. So I really thought, I did something even without my knowledge. So that is the first thing. Anywhere, anytime, and anyone can learn, I did. Also, I should give you an incident. Just before the public exams, it so happened some of the children fell ill, and one girl had a serious measles. She was infected, but she is a very good student who had to take up her board exams. So what I used to do is, I used to go to her house. I used to train her in the evening after my school, because I wanted to show my children can study well. I wanted them to be more, that this child should not lose the marks what she has to get. That is, anywhere they can learn and anytime can learn, started those days. Now, connecting to the pandemic, yes, we all have started doing it. And every school, rather, every teacher, every principal, we all speak about it, because yesterday also I had a session with CBSE wherein I spoke about blended learning. That is nothing but anywhere, anytime, and anyone learning, right? So it is very apt for today's, scenario. So we in school, my teachers and we all practice this. Our meetings, at times you will believe it or not, the teachers' meeting, we start at around 6 o'clock in the evening after completing all of it. Goes till 8 o'clock in the night. That is anywhere learning for my teachers, anytime learning for them as well, right? So it's not only with the children, we teachers also are doing it. So that's the answer for you.
That's it, ma'am. Certainly, what happens is children are born curious, and somewhere we are, just confining them to the textbooks. When we give them an opportunity to learn beyond the textbooks, that is when actually the learning take place. They start applying their learning, yes. And ultimately, education is what? It is about learning, applying what you have learned, right? So I think that is absolutely of this concept of learning anytime, anywhere.
Yes. Also, I can connect with this as well, because what has happened is nowadays, especially with the smaller children, what we are doing is we just inform them tomorrow we are going to learn a particular concept. We tell them and the parents to be prepared for that. And the next day, the teacher and the children do it as a ritual. They start the day with the whatever, it can be even planting a seed. The children are asked to have a cup in case they don't have an open space. If they have an open space, they go there. So it's kind of an experiential learning that they are doing along, even though, because the main reason is the children should not be feeling that they are not connected with the society. So they have to be communicating with the teachers, with their peers. They have to discuss. So we do it online. Believe it, up to grade 5, this happens as a practice. Also, what I did in this year, to make it a little more connecting the students, because they are learning. We are giving a lot of technical support. We are developing a lot of game kind of learning as well. Storytelling is incorporated. Experiential learning is incorporated. Art integration is done. All this is done. But social, that the socialization has gone down. So some parents, when we met online discussions, they said, I feel my child is going to be an introvert because the socialization has gone down. So for this, what I did is we started something called a Zoom lunch. So in a week, 2 days or 3 days, based on the classes, higher classes only 1, lower classes 2 or 3 days, The teacher and the children, they'll have a concept. This week is a salad week. They will prepare their own salad. We'll have a Zoom connection and we all sit and have lunch together, and they just converse. They just discuss. They just show what the food they have. Believe it, parents and the children enjoyed it so much. This is also learning, because here what they're learning is some healthy food, how they can prepare by themselves and eat when they are, because parents have started working, children are left at home. Yeah. Right? So all these have also started happening nowadays.
So pandemic is, it's like a blessing in disguise for education, certainly, because it is so many doors of creativity. Our teachers have become so creative. They started thinking out of the box. They have started making sure that even virtually they are connecting with the students. So wonderful. And I really love the concept of Zoom lunch. I think every school should adopt that. It's such a beautiful concept, teaching and helping the children to socialize also. Beautiful, ma'am. Wonderful concept designed by you. Going ahead in a conversation, ma'am, the journey of an educator is filled with memories that make you smile and feel proud of your achievements. Every day is an achievement for you when you are able to shape a life. So I would like to ask you, what achievement makes you do both, smile proudly and also, feel great, feel the gratitude of doing something, of shaping a life of a child?
Well, for this, I have a lot of samples to be shared with you, but I'll share some very simple, because I admire the smallest one. Bigger ones, yes, you get many certificates have been awarded, quite a number of awards have come. All that happens to all of us. But the smallest change that you make in somebody's life is the best thing that you cherish for your lifetime. Not only me, even the student or the parent who's associated. So as I go back in my memories, when I started teaching in that village, I had a lot of, it was a town with many villages all around. And one child, it so happened, he was a very, he was a ruffian. You cannot control him. He was like that. He had so much of energy. The mother started feeling so bad, coming and telling me separately, madam, I don't know how to manage him. And, it had a practice that in those families, a traditional way of, if they are angry, they will immediately take a knife or something and stab some people. It's like that kind of anger that they have. So the boy was also inculcating the same kind of tradition. So the mother was against it totally. Then what I did is I started calling that boy out of the class, away from the regular time. And I started speaking to him. I just asked him, what are your hobbies? What do you do in your free time? Never spoke about you should not do this, this, this. I just started having conversation. I made him comfortable with me first. And then I said, why don't you come to my house on a weekend? Let's have, I would like to cook for you. Let's have some food together. He said immediately, I stay in a very far away village, ma'am. How do I come? I said, bring your mother also with you. If you are unable to come alone. Then one Sunday, the mother and son came. Then I said, how do you connect with your mother? I just showed, how my daughter is with me, how we connect with each other. I asked him, do you also cuddle your mother? Do you speak to your mother? Because the mother always felt he is not close to him. Then he started realizing, it's good to be connected with them. So that gave a small change in him. Then slowly I could see he completely changed his behavior to such a disciplined boy. He started doing his work regularly. He was regular to school, and he transformed himself to be such a disciplined boy. This change, the mother was so happy. For almost, I knew them for 10 years. In that part of the country had a tradition. During Diwali or during this Pongal time, the elders or the brothers of the house, they get some goodies and give to the sisters. So this mother and the father started getting some coconuts from their orchards and some mangoes and all of that and giving it to me. I said, no, this is not for that. I just wanted to ensure your son is good. They said, no, you become part of my family. That is the happiness that you receive, because even today, the parents respect me. They still call and speak to me. This is one. And when I was in Abu Dhabi, there also, it was a very good experience for me, because there, if you see, you have a lot of immigrants. You have a lot of people coming from different parts of India, and they come, and not only Indians, you have Pakistani children studying in Indian curriculum, they said our Indian curriculum is much, much versatile when compared to their Pakistani curriculum, because the school which was next to my school was a Pakistani school, but the children came to me. And there it so happened, a couple of, the Pakistani parents loved the way we did some program in school. They started participating in the Holi festival, what we did, in the small programs that we did. And the day when I left the school, the parents came and they thanked me separately, saying, it was wonderful to have you here, and the way my children enjoyed the school. So these are the small things which makes you feel happy all through your life, rather than the big prizes or achievements that you get. For if you ask me about the awards, yes, I've got some 5, 6 awards, best principals awards twice, and one as a best practices for best practices, which I got in a conference in Dubai when I was staying there. And in India, last 2019, I got a national award. It was a private company, but School News, I don't know whether you've heard about them. It's called a School News. They gave it to me for, creative curriculum that we have got. And this year I've got some 3 awards like that. So that is it.
Certainly, ma'am, awards comes and goes, but what remains in heart are the changes that we make in the lives of the student. The 2 anecdotes that you narrated, actually touched my heart too. That, these are some things that stay for our lives with us. So that is the magic of a teacher, A teacher can change the life forever. One small moment, one statement that a teacher said has such a deep impact on the child that he changes forever. And I actually, understand the point, that cuddle point that you mentioned over there. These days, we parents especially are missing out the touch therapy. It's so important to hug your child. Our children needs that. And we are so busy in our lives that, we just forget that. It just take a moment to give a small cuddle. And you forget that. So I think, that is something, again, a very important point that you have brought up from your incidents, that it's so important for we as parents to be in touch with our children, and especially hug them, kiss them. That is a small touch therapy that actually heals and connects better. So wonderful experience, ma'am, knowing these 2 incidents. Also, I feel so good.
Also to add to that, here in our school, we ensure when the children come in the morning, the teacher actually, the lower classes, they actually touch their head, they speak to them, they, shake hands with them. If they need a hug, they hug them. But now, because of the pandemic, we've not yet called the younger ones, but, the children are still feeling that, they have not connected to the teachers. When you do that, the child feels the teacher or the person over there is for you. So that's a very good gesture that everybody should do with children.
Certainly, ma'am. That is where the bond is established. That is where the child feels secure and connected. Wonderful. So on this amazing note, let's move ahead in our conversation. So, ma'am, little steps we take, and it helps us to reach our goal. And in this journey, there are so many people who helps us. Some guides us, some mentors us. So I would like to know from you, who is your friend, philosopher, guide in critical situations?
Well, I may sound a little, what do you say, the different, I don't know what to tell it as. I had a lot of situations. I had a lot of hardships throughout my journey. It's not easy to come and sit here today doing this job. It was not at all easy. I have seen a lot of ups and downs. I should say a lot of downs, which actually trained me to go ahead. But I have a habit, when there is a fall or a kind of a trouble, I never think or just wane on the trouble. I think how I can cross it, how I can find a solution. And the reason is I have had a lot of hardships personally and professionally. Maybe that has made me strong. And to tell you frankly, I can say only through literature I've got some good gurus. When it comes to physically, I have some teachers who I'm having in my mind who were my teachers in school when I was studying. Whereas I imitate them when I do the teaching. Okay. Whereas to guide, to support me during hardships, I don't think I have approached anybody, because I believe in myself. I believe that I should be clear in what I'm doing. I definitely take opinions from people, but finally, I think what is right for me, and then I try to put it there. Reason being, I don't want to blame anybody for giving a suggestion, and tomorrow if it doesn't work, then I should not feel sorry, or they should not feel sorry. I would like to take the accountability on myself. That's how I've been working. To tell you openly, when I read literatures, the best teacher that I felt to myself is Vivekananda. He's a wonderful teacher. I love the way he speaks, especially the Chicago speech. I have a small book which I always have it with me, and I try to read it in between. And also from the Gita, I take few things, especially when I'm very, very troubled. I always think of the Gita, the certain words that is being used by Lord Krishna, or the way Arjuna has taken it, how that teacher taught that particular disciple. So this is how I've connected myself. Otherwise, I should say the biggest guru was my dad. Even though he was not a teacher, he was an artist. My second name is still my father's name. Ramachandran is my father's name. He was the biggest guru, I should say, because he has given me a lot of tips while I work, and when I feel a bit depressed, I speak to him. Whatever, he was a person who will give a very factual thing, what I have to do. So I should say it was like that. Otherwise, most of the time, because professional things, probably because he's an artist, he will not be able to connect with school. So I may not be getting some answers, but when I'm troubled, I go to him when I get a reply from him. That's how it was.
Ma'am, I'm actually awestruck listening to you, because very few times I come across the women who are ready to accept that, yes, we are vulnerable, but we have the strength to get up again. So when we realize our strength, yes, we are vulnerable, we accept that, but we are strong within, and we accept this too, and we know that we can fight any situation, then there is nothing like that. So this is the attitude that we all need to build in. Only we can help our own self from all kind of situations in life. And I
also believe, thank you. I also believe a woman should be very strong. Reason is, today's world, the woman is the one who can actually take the emotions, analyze, and give back. More than I don't say men are vulnerable, but men at times, they may feel, the support of the woman is very important, right? I think we think with a cooler mind, so I feel so.
Yeah, because we use our mind and heart both. We use our mind and heart both when we are thinking. We are not very, thinking in the just direction of making sense to everything. We have our heart, our emotions, everything attached. So wonderful to know that what gives you strength, and life will always knock you down. All my viewers, several incidents, life will knock you down. It's up to you whether you want to stand up and make a comeback or not. So wonderful learnings from ma'am's journey. Now, on this note, we reach to the very, very interesting segment of the show. This is called rapid fire round. You have to answer in one word or maximum a statement.
Right? Okay. Let me try. Huh?
Sure, ma'am. You can use a sentence. That's okay.
Okay.
So here goes the first question. You spend your recreational time indulging in activities like?
Weekends. You're asking weekends?
Your free time, recreational
I not get the question.
You spend your
free time. I read.
You read. All
right. I read. I love reading stories. Right. And doesn't I listen to music? I watch a bit of TV, especially some. I love watching James Bond films.
All right. Wonderful. So ma'am loves reading. She loves to listen to music and James Bond. Yes, certainly. Next. Dancing is cathartic. Yes or no? Yes.
It is. I love dancing. Yes, because I love dancing. I believe it or not, I've been dancing till with my children. Whenever I get an opportunity, I do it. So I love dancing. Yes.
Amazing. Your staple food of every day is?
My staple food, most of it is vegetable, but I love non-vegetarian. I refrain myself from it.
All right. Okay. Abstracts or portraits? Your painting theme is?
Can you repeat it? Your voice is breaking.
Yeah. Abstracts or portraits? Your painting theme is?
My painting would be, abstract. I don't go for abstracts. I go for figuratives. I love figuratives, and I love pencil sketches, or I love watercolors. I would love to do them, and I also do Tanjore paintings.
So we have like a multifaceted person here. She's a dancer, she's a painter, she reads a lot. Amazing. Last question of this segment. Your favorite author is?
My favorite author nowadays, it's Mr. Ramesh. I've read almost all his books. And earlier, when I was still in college, I used to love Sidney Sheldon. And then Jeffrey, I used to love those books those days because I like fiction a lot.
All right, great. So it was very interesting to know you in this segment. We got to know how very talented ma'am is. She's a versatile person with so many talents. This brings to me to the last question of this show, which is called Viewer's Choice Question. So ma'am, our viewers keep on sending us a lot of questions, and this is one which I have picked for you. They say that the pandemic has been a curse, yes, yet somehow it has also been a boon in few ways. So how can parents be reassured that the children are going to be safe out of their homes? How, when now schools are reopening, parents are still clueless. What should we do? How can we reassure them that situations are better now?
So I will start from the curse or a boon or a bane. I start from there, because I will rather say pandemic, yes, it was a trouble for the humankind, but it definitely healed the earth, because I am a very, very, a person who loves to save nature. And believe it, in my school, we work on the SDGs. Almost every class has a goal to be done. So I was really happy that at some point of time, the earth was a bit still where nature could nourish itself. Yes, after that, now we are again coming back to schools. What we have done is, from the day when we have been told that schools can start functioning, I have been having constant meetings with parents, like in frequent intervals. We have got a clear plan in our school. I have had meetings with the administrative, sector, with the securities, with the people who are actually engaged directly with children, and we have given them enough guidelines from the transport to the people, housekeeping people inside, for all how we have to plan the day from morning till evening, the routines. Number one. Number two, the meetings with the parents, I allow the parents to speak to me. I ask them to give me what are the questions, and I clearly give them what best we as a school have done, how we have kept the vigilance on children's social distancing, number one. Then the sanitizers, or the the bathroom cleanliness, or the movement in the class. Even though the government has allowed us to put 20 in a room, I have refrained myself only with 17 children. Yes, my teachers are repeating, the number of times of repetition of the lessons are many, but safety comes first, then comes the rest. So we give highest priority to safety from the transport within the school and within the premises, number one. And every day we do have a checklist how we are doing the checking, and that checklist comes to the to all of us, and we check it. We see if there was any kind of drawback, we attend to it immediately. We don't leave anything unturned. Secondly, every day we are supposed to submit a report to the local education office. So we are sending that as well. So touch wood, till today we are doing it well. And we have got students of almost 600 students coming into the school every day. We are doing it safe. So I also promise all my parents and whoever is there, it's not only me, any principal for that matter, they are putting in their soul and heart into the school to ensure safety of children, because we principals meet very often to understand how each one of us are working. And once they say, okay, you can call in the next set of students in, we definitely speak to each other to understand what are the plans, what are the strategies each one of us are doing, because it has to be cost effective, at the same time prioritizing health. So we just don't look at only students' priority. We have put up posters all over the school saying every staff inside the school have been vaccinated, and all of us have a badge. I just removed the badge because I'm going to sit with you for the interview. Otherwise, we wear a badge saying that I am vaccinated. So all of us who are inside this premises are vaccinated. We ensure all of us are wearing double mask. It's a rule inside the school. We do wear a double mask or an N95. Also, we advise in case they want to face shield, they are allowed to wear it. And parents also, we don't allow unwanted people moving here and there because that is again a kind of a trouble. So we have ensured 100% safety within the school. I can promise we continue this, and not only me, as I said, all my colleagues all over the country are doing it.
Certainly, ma'am. It certainly gives a reassurance to parents knowing that what all the action schools are taking, because ultimately it's the life of the child and that is of utmost importance to everyone. So wonderfully explained by ma'am what measures can be taken to ensure that the education carries on safely in schools. Yes, somewhere parents are also looking forward to send the children to school for the socio-economic thing. Learning is happening, but what about the social question, emotional question? They are missing out on that. So it was wonderfully explained by ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your time. We feel blessed and privileged to have an opportunity to interact with you. Your journey is truly an inspiration for many, and it was such an insightful discussion, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I was also happy to share a few of it. And if you give me a chance, I'll go on and on for the next 2 hours, because the amount of experience I've been having since this 35 years, that is enough for me. I don't have to sit and prepare anything. I can just speak off the table. So anyhow, thank you so much and all the best to your group. And thank you for inviting me. Looking forward for many more discussions. Thank you.